Good afternoon. This is Wolf, and I'm Chow. And today we're going to be discussing something that maybe some of you guys can relate to. I'm going to ask Wolf, tell me a time in the past that you've experienced a feeling of something more, just a feeling of something more that you.
Sure, James. I think a lot of people can relate to this feeling of seeing other people succeed,
Mhm.
and then they look at their own situation and they're not really satisfied.
Mm.
They got that feeling like they can accomplish a lot more, like whether it's in their profession
Mhm.
with their job, or if it's even the way they behave around people or with their family. They just know that they can do better, but they're not really sure how or even why they're not doing it. So, for me, for example, when it was coming to my job, I was thinking, I had a feeling like I had so much to give, and it felt like the company I was working for at that time, I was trying to give more and more, but it felt like it wasn't really appreciated.
Okay.
And I was like, I really want to contribute as much as I could because I watched different people succeed. I watched YouTube videos of successful people, saw the good stuff, the good life you could have out there, all these great videos that are presented like dreams that you can be all this, you can do all that.
Mhm.
Why not become financially free and start your business and all that? I was sitting there in my job thinking, how do I turn this around? How do I get there? Because I'm just sitting here from 8 to 4 every day, and then I go home, make dinner, and spend time with kids and family, and then repeat on to the next day. How do you actually get started?
Yeah. It's frustrating. Did you feel frustrated or overwhelmed? Is that the feeling you would describe?
Absolutely. it was a feeling of frustration, but also a feeling of being alone. It's not too common to talk to your peers or friends about your dreams and aspirations and where you really want to go.
Hmm.
It's more common just to talk about everyday stuff
Yeah,
that doesn't really help anybody.
yeah, kind of.
So I kind of felt alone about it. But that feeling inside of just like a seed that wants to reach for the sun, you have that feeling that I want to go somewhere, but you don't know where and how to start.
Hmm.
And that's you gotta to get started. I think you gotta make a decision at some point. And I found out that the feeling of frustration and the feeling that you are not satisfied, those negative feelings can be turned into action, or it can be the turning point. You can turn the negative into a positive,
Yeah,
because sometimes you need pain. You need to come to that point where enough is enough. You had it. You're like, I'm the longer I stay in this,
hmm,
the more disgusted I feel. It's great. It was great, but you felt like you grew out of that box. You cannot contain yourself within that box anymore. It's like you have that pressing towards the ceiling. You just feel like I gotta get out of this box.
yeah,
And once you make the decision that enough is enough, I want to look for my opportunity. I want to look for where I'm going. I don't know what it looks like. I don't know where to go, but I just made the decision. I want to do something. At that point where you make the decision, then things start to happen for you mentally. You start to look for opportunity you didn't look for before. You start exploring options. Maybe you start learning a skill. You maybe just for fun to try it out to see if you can master it. Maybe you don't know if you're ever going to use it or not,
hmm,
but you just do it just for that growth that comes with it.
yeah,
Because you need to take some step in any direction.
yeah. I think for a lot of people that once they decide, um, I'm going to do this, there's a period where there's just overwhelming amounts of information on which direction to go. And so, you can kind of help narrow it down by like, maybe their friends, well, what do you like to do? And that sometimes feel like an entire marathon, and it takes forever to try to figure out because you have to dig deep.
Mm.
Um, that's where it can be very challenging, asking the right questions. I remember from my situation, I remember sitting in an office in a cubicle. Um, I enjoyed my work. I it wasn't like I was unhappy, but I did feel like I'm missing out, unfulfilled, whatever you want to call it.
Very
It's
similar feeling.
yeah, I think my escape was I would we would just plan a trip, and then that was like my next. Okay, well, we have 2 or 3 more months before I went on this trip, and so it was kind of my escape. But at the same time, I almost felt like the the job itself ended up being a prison that I created for myself, even though it was not technically a prison, but I kind of saw it as one, just because I felt stuck, and so I think maybe that might resonate with some people. They don't know even where to begin. The whole thought of like leaving something that you don't know how to do is daunting, scary. Like, what do you do?
But
Uh,
a lot of people, they talk themselves out of this. Once they allow themselves to actually reflect over what they want,
yeah,
and they actually find out what they want, they get scared.
yeah, that's
And
true.
they instead of pursuing it and start to look for ways to make it happen, and that's a very natural response that's built into the dinosaur brain we all have, that you're starting to look for ways why you, or reasons why you shouldn't do it.
Yeah,
Like, come up with reasons that you shouldn't be unhappy about your situation. You're doing so much better than a lot of people you know. You're making more money than a lot of people you know.
yeah, yeah,
You should be happy where you are,
yeah,
James. Stop coming up with excuse or reasons why you
yeah,
should be better than anybody else.
yeah.
So, and that's just the normal response the brain has to make sure that you stay in the safe space, because that dinosaur brain wants you to survive. That's the only mechanism it has. Like, either you survive or you die.
Mm.
And if you continue to do what you're doing at the moment, then you continue surviving. The dinosaur brain won. It kept you alive for another generation to be born.
Yeah.
So you gotta be more. We evolved so much since that dinosaur brain was put into all of us, and we can now use our conscious mind to say, I understand my inner self and that subconscious telling me these things, but I have a choice to reject it. I have a choice to tell myself, I know better.
Mm.
I know I'm not going to die. I know that feeling of fear and uncertainty that comes up, that it means I'm going in the right direction. I'm growing. Because if I don't have any of these feelings, you're just staying where you are.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing exactly the same actions and tasks like you did last year, you'll be exactly where you are a year from now, 2 years from now, if you make no changes. So you gotta embrace those feelings, uncertainty, and doubt. Just tell yourself and confirm you're on the right track.
Yeah. No, I think it's a lot to unpack emotionally, thought wise, and so if you guys relate to this feeling and you guys want to chat with us, we would be happy to sit around and help you figure out what your next steps are in your life, and maybe what just kind of understand your frustration.
And James, it doesn't really matter where you are on your path to your success. If you're starting out and you have a job and you want to become a business owner, or
Mm-hmm.
whether you're already a successful business owner, that you just reached your next limit. There's always an upper limit, but it doesn't matter where you are on that journey. No matter how successful you are, you always reach that ceiling where you need to have change, and that change looks the same for everybody, no matter where you are. So it doesn't matter where you are, you're not alone out there. We can help you go through that whole process, figure out what does the future looks like for you. It's different for everybody. It's a very personal choice, and we'll be happy to have that kind of conversation with you.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, so we would prefer to meet in person and have coffee with you, but if that's not possible, feel free to click on the WhatsApp link down at the bottom there.
Exactly.
And then we'll schedule some time to video chat with you.
Hope to see you soon.
All right, bye.